salvation, the one I put my faith in, day and night. Let's go! I won't doubt you for a second, faith will be my eyes. Told my worries through the wind and now I'm dancing. I trust you all my life. Let's go! Jesus, Jesus, the name that never fails. With me, always with me. I know you make a way, my light and my salvation, the one I put my faith in, day and night. I won't doubt you for a second, faith will be my eyes. Throw my worries to the wind and now I'm dancing. I trust you, yeah. I won't doubt you for a second, faith will be my eyes. Throw my worries to the wind and now I'm dancing. I trust you all my life. Let's go! I trust you cause you're perfect, trust you cause you're good. I trust because you love like no one ever could. Yeah, you are my provider, you are my best friend. You will never fail, you're faithful to the end. I trust you cause you're perfect, trust you cause you're good. I trust because you love like no one ever could. Yeah, you are my provider, you are my best friend. You will never fail. Go! I won't doubt you for a second, faith will be my eyes. Throw my worries to the wind and now I'm dancing. I trust you, yeah. I won't doubt you for a second, faith will be my eyes. Throw my worries to the wind and now I'm dancing. I trust you all my life.
Hey Connect Kids, welcome to your service. I'm Amy and today we are talking about friendship. But first we're talking about riddles. So let's play a riddle. You ready? A few riddles. Do you guys know what a riddle is? You're about to find out. Number 1, what dries the wetter it gets? What dries the wetter it gets? A towel. The more you use a towel to get dry, the wetter the towel gets. What has 2 hands but cannot clap? 2 hands but cannot clap. What is it? That's right, a clock. What do you have to break to use? Break it to use it. An egg. What goes up but never goes down? What goes up but never goes down? Defies gravity. It's our age. Never goes down. What 5-letter word gets shorter when you add 2 letters to it? What 5-letter word gets shorter when you add 2 letters to it? Short. What travels around the world but stays in one place? Travels around the world but stays in one place. A stamp. Have you ever used a stamp? I hope you have. If not, write me a letter and test out a stamp. All right, last one. Out of the one who eats came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet. I know, that's the face you're making, huh? This is actually a hard one, and it's a Bible one. So I'm gonna pull up my Bible one more time. Out of the one who eats came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet. Huh? It's a tricky one. It's a riddle that the person we're talking about today told, and that is Samson. Today we're talking about Samson. You probably know him as Super Strong Samson. Which, by the way, the answer to this is one day Super Strong Samson was walking, the lion came up, ripped it in half, threw his body on the side of the road, kept walking. Later on, walking back and sees a beehive in the lion. He eats the honey out of the dead lion's carcass. And that's what the answer is. It's very bizarre. But good job on the other riddles. I didn't expect you to know this one. But guys, we're talking about Samson. Samson's story can be found in the book of Judges, which is in the Old Testament, which means it's long before Jesus. Now, Samson was an Israelite. Israelites are God's people, and we read their story in the Old Testament. And it's a story of ups, but mostly downs. As the Israelites struggled to walk with God, they constantly disobeyed him. And when they would disobey him, there were consequences. There's punishment for our sin. And oftentimes that looked like war. And in this case, it looked like they were in a really difficult situation. They were being conquered by the Philistines, a different group of people. And they were really struggling. But see, God is so good. And constantly in the Old Testament, we see times when God comes and rescues his people. Sometimes it's with Moses, and he rescues them from slavery, and they get to walk through the Red Sea. Other times it's God helps them knock down city walls in epic ways. Here in this story, God sends them Samson. Now, Samson is just a normal Israelite, except God has set him apart. In fact, when his mother finds out that she's going to have a baby, it's because an angel comes to her. And the angel basically says this is Judges 13, verse 5. You will become pregnant and give birth to a son, and his hair must never be cut, for he will be dedicated to God as a Nazirite from birth, and he will begin to rescue Israel from the Philistines. God sent them this baby, Samson, and gave him incredible strength, like tearing a lion apart with his bare hand strength. But Samson, he lived an interesting life. Now, he did have incredible strength. Like one time we see this is he went and he killed 1,000 Philistines with the jawbone of a donkey. That's right, the jawbone of a donkey. And so he had this incredible strength, but Samson made some poor decisions. Like this one, watch this.
Stories of the Bible, Samson and Delilah. This is Samson, who was the last judge of Israel. Samson was very strong, and he was supposed to bring God's people victory over their enemies, who were the Philistines. Now Samson fell in love with a woman named Delilah.
Oh, hey there.
Hi.
And the Philistines came to Delilah
What's going on?
and convinced her to find out what the secret to Samson's strength was. They promised her a great amount of money if she could do this.
Now you're talking.
Hey.
Come in.
So Delilah said to Samson, "Please tell me what makes you so strong, and what would it take to tie you up securely?"
Well,
Samson replied, "If I were tied up with 7 new bowstrings that have not yet been dropped, I would become as weak as anyone else."
You ain't here.
So the Philistine rulers brought Delilah 7 new bowstrings,
Look what I got.
go on, try.
and she tied Samson up with them.
Haha, see?
Oh no, Samson!
She cried out, "Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you." But Samson snapped the bowstrings,
Let me at him.
so the secret of his strength was not discovered.
Hey, Wait a minute.
Afterward, Delilah said to him, "You've been making fun of me and telling me lies. Now please tell me how you can be tied up securely."
Alright.
Samson replied, "If I were tied up with brand new ropes that had never been used, I would become as weak as anyone else."
Let me try.
So Delilah took new ropes and tied him up with them.
See?
Oh no!
And again Delilah cried out, "Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you."
What? Where? Let me at him.
But again Samson snapped the ropes from his arms.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Then Delilah said, "You've been making fun of me and telling me lies. Now tell me, how can you be tied up securely?"
Alright, I'll tell you.
Samson replied, "If you were to weave the 7 braids of my hair into the fabric on your loom and tighten it with a loom shuttle, I would become as weak as anyone else."
Now we got him.
So while he slept, Delilah wove the 7 braids of his hair into the fabric. Again she cried out, "Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you."
Let me at him.
But Samson woke up and yanked his hair away from the loom and the fabric.
You gotta be kidding me.
Then Delilah pouted, "How can you tell me I love you when you don't share your secrets with me?
Come on.
No.
You've made fun of me 3 times now, and you still haven't told me what makes you so strong." She tormented him with her nagging day after day until he was sick to death of it.
Alright already.
Finally, Samson shared his secret with her. "My hair has never been cut, for I was dedicated to God as a Nazirite from birth. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me, and I would become as weak as anyone else."
Well, that's it.
Thank you.
Delilah realized he had finally told her the truth,
Hey, you.
so she sent for the Philistine rulers. "Come back one more time," she said, "for he has finally told me his secret." So the Philistine rulers returned.
Oh, Samson.
Delilah lulled Samson to sleep. And then she called in a man to shave off the 7 locks of his hair. Samson's strength left him. Then she cried out, "Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you." When he woke up, he thought, "I will do as before and shake myself free."
Oh, what's going on?
But he didn't realize the Lord had left him. So the Philistines captured him and took him to prison.
All right, guys, what did you think of that video? You're like, "Samson, catch a hint. She's obviously trouble." I know, right? Ah, Samson. Guys, God had given Samson an incredible gift of incredible strength to be used for his glory. As the angel told Samson's mom, God was going to use Samson to begin to rescue his people from the Philistines. God has given all of us gifts and abilities. Maybe it's not incredible strength, but he's given us different abilities. And when we use those abilities, it brings God glory. Can you see my little star there? It's itty bitty, but it's there. And Samson had this ability of super strong strength. But Samson made some bad decisions, and he surrounded himself with some bad company, specifically Delilah. And by the way, Delilah was a Philistine. So that was probably not a good decision, hanging out with the enemy. But when we hang out with bad company, it kind of like puts us in a tricky situation. Okay, so this is Samson hanging out with the wrong people. Now, when we're in bad company, what do you think is going to happen? One more time. Whoop. All right. Nothing. It is not blowing up because it is surrounded by bad company. And that's what happened to Samson. In fact, literally, that's what happened to Samson because his hair got cut off and he couldn't use his gift anymore. Because it's the same thing with us. We have to be very wise about who we choose as our friends. I want to read you a Bible verse, and this is from the easy to read version. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26. I like the easy to read version for today. It says, "Good people are careful about choosing their friends, but evil people always choose the wrong ones." Guys, I think it's pretty obvious that we have to be very mindful about who we choose as our friends. I don't know about you, but I've had some bad friends in the past. In fact, when I was in elementary school, I had this one girl, and she was my friend, and I thought she was one of my best friends. But I'd come home from school crying every day, or I'd get in trouble with my parents a lot because she'd convince me that we should just go to her house after school without telling my parents, or that we should be talking all night on the phone, even though I had to be in bed at a certain time. And my mom finally said to me one day, she said, "Amy, I don't think she's the type of friend that you need in your life." And I was like, "But she's my friend." And my mom said, "Amy, you have to be very wise about who you choose as your friends." Guys, my mom, she's so smart. And in fact, over my life, my parents, mom and dad, have both helped me see when some friendships were not maybe the best friendships to have. And I've let those friendships go. Even though they might be cool, even though I might have fun with them, even though they might make me look cool, I've come to realize that if a friend is going to push me to go against God, to go against my parents, to do things that I know are not safe or wise, or to do things that are just flat out wrong, or to hurt other people, they're not the type of friends I want in my life. And I want to say to you, Connect Kids, that you need to be very mindful about who you choose as your friends. Bad company corrupts good character. It's in the Bible too. But it does. Guys, when you hang out with the wrong people, it can cause problems for you, just as it caused for Samson. And I don't want to say for a second that Samson is perfectly innocent here, but Samson made a very bad decision by making Delilah a big part of his life. We have to be careful, guys, who we trust and who we let influence us. And by the way, that does not mean that all your friends have to be church friends. But I will say there's a lot of cool kids at Connect. But yes, we have to be wise about who we choose as friends. And so now, kids and families, I want you to sit down and I want you to make a list of good friendship qualities. Okay, you want somebody who is kind, somebody who is helpful, somebody who is smart and studies. Maybe not necessarily smart, but they're smart with their time and they use it to study. You want to have friends who are going to be a good influence. And if things come up that you think are really bad, you can start a secondary list of qualities to watch out for. And guys, when you meet a friend, I want you to look at your list or lists and say, what kind of friend are they? Always remember to make good decisions about who your friends are. They really do impact you. Guys, I want to pray for you right now. God, we thank you so much for Connect Kids. We thank you that they are really cool kids and that you've given them such wonderful energy and love for you. God, we pray that you will help them to make good decisions about the friends that they choose in life. God, would you just be with them, help them to have healthy friendships, and help them to know when to walk away from friendships. Help them to be friends with one another, and help us all to be the type of friends that we should be to encourage our friends and to build them up. God, we thank you ultimately that you are our best friend, and that we can look to you as an example of how we should live. We love you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Guys, we love you. We're praying for you. Now go and make a difference and some more friends. Bye.